As part of the total equitable distribution to be allocated in your divorce, debts will be considered. If they're debts that go with an asset, such as a mortgage, that would be considered as part of the division of the house. If they're credit card debts, then they may be allocated to each of you in proportion. So debts are an asset that get ultimately allocated, although they may be offset with an asset. Unsecured debt will be handled as part of your divorce, even though it can't be specifically linked to an asset, a secured debt like a mortgage. When you're dealing with unsecured debt, most times it can either be offset by the assets which do exist, such as investment accounts or the house, or it can be allocated based upon a percentage and maybe a restructuring of the debt. If you're coming into the marriage with debt, or if your spouse came into the marriage with debt, that debt will not likely be subject to distribution as part of your final resolution. However, if that debt can be linked to ultimately the marital partnership, then it may be considered as part of that overall distribution. This is a very nuanced conversation that should be had with your counsel. Student loans typically follow the person for whom they benefited. So if your spouse took student loans, then your spouse would be responsible for those loans. If, however, you're talking about parent loans that are the debt of the children, they would be allocated consistent with the overall equitable distribution.